Hello students, I am Dr. Prabha Patil, Vivekanand College, Kolhapur. Welcome to my presentation on morphology. Friends, words are potentially complex units composed of even more basic units called morphemes. Morphology is the branch of linguistics that studies word structures, especially in terms of morphemes. While studying morphology, you may confront with many questions like what is the purpose of studying morphology? What properties are unique to morphology? How does morphology interface with other types of linguistic structures? Friends, this is an attempt to answer these questions. Contents: Introduction, about morphology, about morphemes, types of morphemes, free and bound, derivational and inflectional morphemes, allomobs, and conclusion. Introduction. Let us see one of the branches of linguistics, that is morphology. Before we examine the structure of words, we must recognize the entity known as morpheme. Morpheme can be defined as the smallest meaningful morphological unit of a language that cannot be further divided or analyzed. In other words, morpheme can be described as the minimal meaningful unit in a grammatical system of a language. In linguistics, morphemes are indicated by brace marks. Morpheme. In English, the case of plurality is indicated by adding "s" to the singular nouns. For example, flowers consist of morpheme flower and morpheme "s." Doors consist of morpheme door and morpheme "s." Cats consist of morpheme cat and morpheme "s." Thus, here each word has two morphemes. Even the tense marker in English grammar is indicated by adding ed to the regular verb. For example, expressed consists of morpheme express and morpheme ed. Talked consists of morpheme talk and morpheme ed. Here, each word also has two morphemes. Types of morphemes. There are two kinds of morphemes: free morpheme and bound morpheme. Free morpheme. A free morpheme is one that can be uttered alone with meaning. It can stand on its own as a word, like flower, door, bat, express, talk. All of these morphemes are free morphemes. Bound morpheme. A bound morpheme cannot be uttered alone with meaning. It cannot stand on its own as independent word. It is always added to one or more morphemes to form a word. For example, s in cats, re in replay, in greater, n in enslave. All of these morphemes are bound morphemes. Free morphemes constitute words by themselves. Bound morphemes are never words but always parts of words. Bound morphemes. Bound morphemes mostly refer to morphemes that can occur as affixes. The affixes which precede free morphemes are called prefixes, and those which follow free morphemes are called suffixes. For example, dis, un, miss are prefixes, and ly, nes, or full are suffixes. Bound morphemes can be interpreted as derivational and inflectional. The derivational morphemes create new words or mostly changes the word classes, while the addition of inflectional morphemes merely changes the word form in relations such as number, gender, tense, etc. Derivational morphemes. The derivational morphemes derive new words. The derivational morphemes are added to produce new words which are derived from the parent word, that is called as root word. For example, great, greatness, examine, examination, faith, faithful. In all these cases, the word class change with each derivation. Derivation does not always cause the change of word class. For example, visible, invisible, write, rewrite. The derivational affixes, those change the class of the stem, are called class changing derivations. The derivational affixes, those do not change the class of the stem, are called class maintaining derivations. Inflectional morphemes. There are the verbs like s, third person singular present tense, put, puts, ed, past tense, talk, talked, ing, progressive tense, speak, speaking, en, past participle, that is write, written. For noun, the plurals boy, boys, and even the possessives boy, boys. The adjectives, the suffixes like er and est, in other words, the comparative and superlative of the adjective, are under the inflectional morphemes. Allomobs. An allomorph is one of two or more complementary morphs. In other words, the phonetic realization of morphemes are called allomorphs, which manifest a morpheme in its different phonological or morphological environments. How morphs and morpheme deal with allomorph. A morpheme is indicated as one or more morphs, that is surface form, in different environments. These morphs are called allomorphs. Compare with a phoneme is indicated as one or more phones, that is phonetic sounds, in different environments. These phones are called allophones. The allomorphs. The allomorphs of a morpheme are derived from phonological rules and any morphophonemic rules that may apply to that morpheme. For example, the plural morphemes in English, usually written as s, has at least three allomorphs, like s as in caps, z as in bags, and is as in boxes. The past form morphemes, that is ed, usually has three allomorphs: d as in slammed, t as in clipped, and ed as in wanted. The negative morpheme changes n, the prefix is in, to the consonant of the word it prefixes. For example, ill as in illegal, im as in impatient, ir as in irregular, im as in improper, in as in inconsiderate. Friends, today we have seen the morphology, morphemes, and allomorphs. Thank you.